Our front page news today comes from distant places. Qingdao, the city in China that the Kaiser built.
I've been to countless cities in China, so you'd think I would have seen it all by now. But who knew it was possible to spend your time lying on the beach or wandering through the European-style streets by day before filling your belly with locally brewed beer or stuffing your face with a seafood barbecue by night. In a city of 10 million people in mainland China, just a few hours away from Beijing. That sounds like my kind of city. Welcome to Qingdao.
In Qingdao,
a barbarian outpost transformed from a small fishing village to a modern urban city.
Qingdao Brewery was a must.
And I'd buy the beer.
But before I show you all the amazing things to do here, let's recap a little bit. First, we hopped on a high-speed train from Beijing straight into the center of the city. After leaving the Germanic-style train station, we checked into our hostel, the Qingdao hostel, which is located in a former Christian chapel, right in the center of the old town. So I know what you're thinking, German train station, Christian chapel, European old town. Well, let's go and figure out what the heck is going on here in Qingdao. In 1898, the Germans seized what is now modern-day Qingdao. Back then, it was a naval base and a simple fishing village. In just 16 years, they transformed it into a fully fledged German town on the other side of the globe. They built schools, churches, and a railway station, but most importantly, they built a brewery, which is now home to the world-famous Qingdao beer brand. Don't worry, we'll pay a visit to the brewery a little later. But first, let's go on a walk through the charming old town. Just a couple of streets away from our hostel was a market street, buzzing with locals buying their share of the day's fresh catch. There are pristine European-style houses dotted throughout the area, but also dilapidated townhouses in need of urgent repair. Many of these had signs marking them for demolition, but hopefully they will be restored to their former glory by the time you visit. The centerpiece of this historic area is the amazing Catholic Cathedral, which was restored to its original grandeur in 1981 after many years of neglect. If you take to the skies, you can see that its towering spires still hold their own against the various skyscrapers that have popped up along the city's coastline in recent decades. And what a stunning coastline it is! Although I took one look at the amount of people heading to Jianqiao Pier and decided to give this landmark a miss. It's really hot in Qingdao today and I was feeling a little bit flustered down by the pier. So we decided to come chill out and do as the locals do and grab a beer from one of the street vendors. Instantly, I feel better. With our bellies full of liang pi and our blood pumping with local beer, we decided to escape the summer heat and do a tour of the hopefully air-conditioned Qingdao Brewery. The Germans opened the brewery in 1903 to cure their homesickness, and so started a century-long brewing tradition. We just got our tickets, so let's go check it out. It starts off with a colourful look at the brewery's story, both past and present. Then you learn more about the brewing process, from grain to glass. And now it's time to try it! Ganbei! After our tasting, we were allowed a peek into the bottling plant. The brewery produces millions of bottles of beer every year that are enjoyed by people across the world. But the locals make sure that the best stuff stays put in the city. And as I discovered, their method of drinking it is somewhat unusual. Throughout the city, street vendors sell the beer straight from the barrel, but the preferred method of choice isn't a bottle or can, but rather a plastic bag. Locals will buy in a plastic bag to take to a restaurant or to take home, or you can enjoy it like I am, straight through a plastic straw. Nobody knows exactly how and when this tradition started, but one theory is that local brewery workers were partly paid their wage in kegs of beer. This led to a sort of black market thing where they decided to sell off their beer at cut prices on the street corner. It's all great fun, but as the world wakes up to the damaging effects on plastic in the ocean, will this seaside town's tradition of beer in a bag stand the test of time? Anyway, speaking of seaside, Qingdao has numerous beaches. They're probably not the best for a relaxing day of sunbathing. You might have to head a little bit further out for that, but they're great for lots of other activities, including people watching. After a busy day of getting sunburnt on the beach and working out your liver on the streets, you are going to need a good feed to soak up the alcohol and get you fighting fit to do it all over again the following day. Unsurprisingly, given its location, Qingdao is the place to eat seafood in China, and everywhere you go, there are countless restaurants serving up the catch of the day. I'm a seafood lover, so I'm in heaven, but Jack hates seafood, so he's less than impressed. There are so many places to eat in Qingdao, it was a little bit overwhelming. So we just picked one, and luckily there was a guy who spoke a little bit of English who helped us order, so I'm excited to try what we ordered. Of course, we also got another fresh pitcher of the local nectar to wash it down. The first thing that he told us to order were these little clams, I want to explain them as, so they're a little bit spicy, but oh my god, they're so good. They're a little bit fiddly because they're quite small, but they taste so flavoursome. Oh, heaven. Oh my days. I'm gonna eat you. Luckily for Jack, eating seafood isn't the only thing to do here. For the past 30 years, the city has played host to the Qingdao Beer Festival, which is a little bit like Oktoberfest, except it's held in July and August and has significantly less lederhosen. Well, maybe some lederhosen. There are a few different locations, but this is the main spot. It also attracts beer brands and beer snobs like Jack from all around the world. So as you can see from our clips last night, the beer festival can get a little bit rowdy, but even if you're not a beer lover, it's still really good fun. Obviously, that's why Qingdao is famous for its beer, but being here for the weekend, we realized that the city is so much more than that. It has amazing architecture, a really great laid-back vibe, and also genuinely friendly people. I recommend putting Qingdao on your list. If you want to see my behind the scenes vlog and see what really went down at the Qingdao Beer Festival, then check out my Patreon. And as always guys, like, subscribe and comment. I'll see you next time.